The road glowed orange in the rear view, fire from the old station licking the black sky. I didn't watch it burn for long. I pressed the gas pedal, hard, until the Corolla's tired engine whined. I didn't let myself look back. DJ Red was silent in the back seat, pale as moonlight, staring out the side window. He'd barely said a word since the house went up. Next to me in shotgun, Josh McCoy was clutching a torn hat, knuckles white. We didn't talk for a while. The only sound was the wind slipping through a cracked window and the faint clatter of Thomas's empty dog tags swinging from my mirror. We all felt it, like the world had gone even quieter since Thomas made his stand. It was Josh who broke the silence, voice rough but steady. You know, Thomas once got us both nearly fired. Meat shop back before all this. Old man Carter slammed the walk-in door so hard it knocked the damn phone off the hook. Broke it clean. Thomas just laughed. Said he'd pay for it when he hit the lottery. I tried to smile. If anyone could have found a winning ticket in a place like this, it would have been him. We kept driving, keeping the needle steady just above empty, headlights bobbing through the ragged hills outside Inez. Martin County's gone to weeds. Busted signs, empty trailers, trash whipped up against the old guardrails. We pulled up to a zip zone, just off the edge of the highway, last stop before the country really falls apart. The place was picked over, glass crunched under my boots, and the whole front counter stank of spoiled bread. I checked the corners, rifle ready. 2 zombies were slumped near the back, tangled in a mess of racks and half-melted snack cakes. They didn't get far. Josh took the first with a pipe to the skull, and Red finished the second with a boot and a chair leg. We found scraps. 4 gallons of water, miracle. 2 rolls of toilet paper, gold if you asked my mother. A single box of unopened Slim Jims, wedged behind the ice chest. A handful of old, grimy lottery tickets scattered across the register. I pocketed them without thinking. Thomas's lucky day, I muttered. We loaded what we could, scanned the parking lot for movement. Not much left but broken cars and the scent of burnt plastic. I was about to call it when the army radio on my belt crackled. Real, clear, like someone nearby. Static, then a voice, ragged and desperate, but unmistakable. Nyon copy. This is Orsborn, Paintsville, pinned. Need backup. Swear to God, if anybody's left. I froze. Corporal Nick Orsborn. We'd seen him go down. Swarmed by a horde, torn away in the flood. No way he was alive. But there he was, voice thin and battered, coming through the static. I turned to Red, eyes wide. Did you hear that? He nodded, already reaching for the radio. Josh was shaking. That's not possible. But the voice came again, stronger, pleading. Paintsville, car wash. If you're out there, please. The night felt colder, and for the first time since the world ended, hope and dread hit me in equal measure. We hopped in OL Betsy, praying she had the gas to make it. The outskirts of Paintsville looked like a battlefield long after the last shot was fired. We kept to the back roads, hugging tree lines, steering clear of downtown where the infected moved in packs. The Corolla's temperature needle started creeping up, and by the time we passed the old strip mall, steam was hissing from under the hood. I coasted into the parking lot of the Peking Chinese restaurant. Miracle of miracles. Not a single corpse in sight. DJ Red grabbed the map, checking our route. Josh popped the trunk and I got out, scanning the cracked blacktop. Every window in the Peking was dirty, grime and handprints and streaks of old tape. The neon sign buzzed once and died. The only sound was the gentle tick of the Corolla's engine. Pop the hood, Red said quietly. I did, and hot steam poured out, thick and sour, mixing with the faint tang of soy sauce that lingered around the place. Josh said, I'll fill her up. There's a hose in the back. He disappeared around the corner, and Red and I set about watching the street. That's when we heard the dog. One sharp, warning bark, then silence. A shape moved in the shadow by the side door. A girl. She looked like she'd been crawling through a swamp. Hair matted with mud, camo face paint smeared like war paint, clothes ripped and tied in odd places. Around her neck, an old bandana. Her hands gripped a battered shotgun, and hanging at her side was a tomahawk, blade slick and worn. She was flanked by a beagle with a ragged red collar, tail stiff, eyes fixed. She said nothing, just leveled the shotgun in our direction, eyes burning with something wild, tribal almost, like she'd forgotten how to be civilized. Red held up his hands, slow. "We don't want trouble." She spat in the dirt, voice cracked and gravelly. "Then don't bring any." The beagle circled behind her, low and tense. "Oh, boy," she called, and he sat on his haunches, hackles up. I heard Josh coming back, water sloshing in the jug. "Josh, stay back," I called. Her eyes darted. She clocked us all, counting weapons and angles. "Keep moving and I'll scatter your brains in the gutter. Last warning." I could see her shaking, barely holding it together. Red tried to talk her down, but she fired. A warning shot, shattering the front window. Glass rained down on the tile, the sound echoing into the hollow dining room. We scattered for cover, rounds pinging off the Corolla's bumper. I ducked behind the newspaper box. "Let's talk this out. We're just passing through." She fired again, and this time a splinter caught me on the ear, stinging sharp, hot blood running down my neck. Then a click. She was out. I heard her curse, voice cracking. I saw my chance, and before Red or Josh could stop me, I rushed her, ducking under the shotgun barrel, grabbing for the weapon. She dropped it and came at me like an animal, knees, fists, a headbutt that snapped my jaw back. Before I could react, she had the tomahawk pressed to my throat, her muddy face inches from mine. "You move, you die," she whispered. I looked past her, saw the dog standing by her heel, silent and loyal. Red and Josh shouted from cover, "Drop it! Let him go!" Her eyes darted between us, breath ragged. For a long, silent moment, she held that blade to my neck, the tip biting cold under my jaw. I held up both hands, palms out, never breaking her stare. "We're not here to hurt you," I said quietly. "We're just trying to fix our car." She didn't blink, but I could see her fighting something inside. Fear, anger, loneliness, maybe all three. Finally, she let out a long breath and pulled the tomahawk away, just an inch. "Tell them to lower their weapons." I nodded, heart pounding. "Red, Josh, guns down. Now." They stepped out, lowering their rifles, watching her every move. She let me go. I stumbled back, hands up. She backed into the doorway, still between us and the dark, and only then did she finally speak without a snarl. "You got food?" she asked, voice softer. "I got nothing but rainwater and dog biscuits." I nodded. "Yeah," I said. "We got Slim Jims." For the first time, she almost smiled. "Name's Amber. Sorry about the introduction. Last people that came through weren't as polite as y'all," she said as she looked at the floor. We sat in the back corner booth of the Peking, dust and wrappers on the old laminate, moonlight sliding through a bullet hole in the window. For a moment, it felt almost normal. The four of us, me, Red, Josh, Amber, and her beagle OL boy, all sharing a box of Slim Jims like it was a Thanksgiving feast. Amber bit the jerky like she hadn't eaten in a week. Todd me, sat across from her, and for the first time, the tension started to thaw. She was still wild-looking, mud on her cheeks, wild braid tossed over her shoulder, but she laughed at something Red said about gas station meat tubes being apocalypse currency. I felt myself relax, just a little, maybe more than I'd admit. She and I caught each other's eyes, just long enough for the world to fade. She nudged my boot with hers under the table, her muddy leg warm against my jeans. For a heartbeat, I let myself believe we could have been anywhere, just people, not survivors. Then the radio on my belt crackled, killing the mood. A whisper, Nick's voice, clearer but scared. "I'm in the car wash, downtown Paintsville, dead everywhere. No food, no water left." Amber was on her feet before I could answer. She snatched the map off the table, jabbed a dirty finger at the city grid. "If we move at dusk, stick to the alleys, we can avoid the big herds. They'll be moving for shade, not hunting." Me and you, too many people will get swarmed. Somebody's gotta watch the mutt and keep lookout anyway. Red and Josh both looked relieved not to be volunteered. Josh shrugged. I'll watch the dog. No complaints. Amber grinned. Good. Don't eat my biscuits. She and I geared up, packs light, blades sharp. She tucked her tomahawk in a makeshift leather belt. I checked my rifle. We waited until the sun dipped low and the shadows stretched long over the rooftops. El Boy whined, but Amber just patted his head. Be good. Guard the fort. We parked the Corolla on the edge of downtown, timing belt squealing like a sick banshee every few blocks. Amber led the way, slinking down alleys, ducking under busted neon and moving with a grace that made me jealous. We passed silent cars, broken signs, the smell of rot thick in the humid air. The car wash was a tomb, shadows crawling, bones in the corner, the whole place humming with dread. Nick was crouched behind the change machine, eyes wild, face smeared with grime. He looked up like he'd seen ghosts. I handed him a Slim Jim. Amber gave him a gallon jug of water. He tore into the jerky, but when he grabbed the jug, his clumsy hands lost their grip. Water exploded everywhere, splattering concrete and echoing like a dropped drum. For a moment, we all held our breath. Then, moaning, zombies, 10 at least, turned toward the sound. Amber grabbed Nick by the collar, yanked him up. Move, dumbass. We ran, boots slapping wet pavement. Nick stumbled, tripped on a cracked hose, and I went down with him. Amber spun, tomahawk flashing, chopped the heads off 2 zombies with wild, practice swings. She screamed, "Get off your asses!" We scrambled up, adrenaline burning. Amber covered our retreat, hacking and slashing, and somehow we made it back to the car, Nick half-diving into the backseat. The timing belt screamed as I started the Corolla, but the engine caught and we peeled out, just ahead of the horde. We drove through the empty city, hearts pounding, until we saw the flickering neon of the Peking. Amber's dog barked once, tail wagging. We were home, for now.